Amachita will wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, hustle money, catch a cab or hire a cab and go see a woman somewhere. You tell that guy at 3 in the morning, say, Ntwana, let's go make some money. Ntwana, I'm sleeping. Because you're willing to do things that are abnormal, unnatural for the person that you love.
How are you doing, my siblings? Game Changers. My name is lelon and welcome to another segment of Game Changers podcast. Today, we're sitting with a very interesting man. I mean, on social media, everybody's interested, on PENUEL. And I also think it's because of the views that he has, that he publicizes, and mostly because, most of the stuff that PENUEL does, some people would want to do them, but they don't have the guts maybe to do them. Or maybe some people really disagree with what he says, but be that as it may, either or, people are really interested in him. I got a lot of DMs from the last, episode. I think it was episode 2, where it was a panel, and people were like, "No, man, you didn't give PENUEL, enough time to talk." Some were saying, "We want to hear more of him. We really like him." Some were saying, "We want to hear more of the nonsense." Just mixed feelings. But I also personally felt like I didn't get to hear more of you. There was questions that I wanted to ask, but were not answered. But before we continue, just say hello to the Game Changers and just introduce yourself again, I think, because,
Nompumelelo Ndlovu.
Yebo.
Theboya Benyathi.
Yebo.
The hero of a buffalo. Hi to all the Game Changers siblings. Yeah. Man, I'm quite honored, and I want to give a shout out to everyone who's going to watch this who actually follows the work that I do. It humbles me a lot to see that there were people that wanted to hear more from me. I think I also know why they wanted to hear more from me, because some of the stuff that the ladies were saying, they know that I've got very controversial views as opposed. But I think more than anything, the platform was for us to introduce Game Changers to everyone. Yes. The platform was for people to air whatever they wanted to say. And I always knew with me and you, we were going to sit and we're still going to sit. So I was very relaxed, and I was like, even if I don't get to speak, I'm going to be good. So thank you so much for inviting me.
So much for coming.
Being a little mama in the back, I'm nervous. I need to watch my swear words. And shout out to the crew at the back, man. So I'm quite honored to be here.
Thank you so much for coming through. So PENUEL, listen, I know the conversations lately has been around your kids, okay? And, I think we've heard enough. I think for me, I'm going to speak for myself personally, and whoever it is that feels the same way, because I was just saying now to, the production and my last guest was that, we don't give voice to men who have something to say, even though they've made what we call mistakes. But we want to give voice to women who have something to say, even though they've made to what we call mistakes. You understand what I'm saying? So if we're teaching these girls how to be strong girls, who's going to teach the boys how to handle the strong women, you know? And I didn't want to base this more about your kids, your baby mamas. I want to know who's PENUEL,
No, man, I love speaking about my kids. I unfortunately cannot speak about the mothers of my kids, specifically because they've never asked me to.
Okay.
They do not post me on their social media. So out of respect for them, and because I respect them so highly, man, I would not do that to them. The day they decide, they maybe want to go on podcasts and be like, PENUEL who's got children with me. But for now, they are happy to be in the shadows. They live in their own lives. They're winning. I'm happy to speak about my children all day. I'm happy to speak about the dynamic I have of having children with multiple women. I think it's very important. Just a few days ago on X, on Twitter, I was just thinking out loud. And of course, people were trolling me. But I was thinking of the women that have children with multiple men.
Yeah.
Lauryn Hill's got 6 children with 2. I think Mel B, the Spice Girls, I think she's got 3 or 4 baby daddies. Halle Berry's got multiple baby daddies. Kelly Kumalo, she's got 3 babies from 3 baby daddies. And
each one to their own.
Yeah. So, but look, it's a conversation to be had, because it's always quick to run at men with multiple kids. But we're living in an age where some of our favorite female role models and celebrities have children from different men, and we have to have the conversation of, where do we go wrong are we going wrong? How are we raising these kids? Blended family, and it's an important conversation. And I was saying to Mama off camera that when people attack me for my views, specifically around parenting and children, it just reminds me that specifically Black African people are in denial about the realities of where we are. And as long as abantu abamnyama are in denial, we are not going to be able to fix anything if it needs to be fixed. And also a lot of women and men cannot be comfortable to be alternative. We speak about alternative sexuality. Erica Badu's got 3 children from 3 fathers. What if that's what she wants? Who are we to judge her if the kids are happy, healthy, if the fathers are fine and happy? But we want to come with our morals and enforce. But if ever one day someone came and shone a spotlight onto your life, because you might find that your life is worse than mine. Your kids are struggling. You having issues with your one baby daddy, and you've got issues with me because I'm an easy target. But my kids are happy and healthy and good looking. I post them all the time. Their moms are happy and healthy and very beautiful. So we're good.
I think it's actually the opposite. I think mostly from my perspective, I've seen it happen to women, like being judged for being a loose woman or whatever. You know, you've got 3 different, like Dineo Ranaka, for example. She gets judged a lot.
She's got 3. Yeah, she's also got 3 kids from 3 fathers.
She gets judged a lot. Like, she's useless and whatnot. You know, and she's also got quite a strong voice, you know, in her own right. And I think it was, for me, it was the first time publicly maybe with you, you know, where a man is like 6 baby mamas. Why didn't you get married to them?
4.
I mean, 4 baby mamas.
4 baby mamas. And the
children are 6. So, my followers were like, you know, they say it's 4 baby mamas, 6 children. Why didn't you get married? But I have never heard somebody ask you, or maybe they haven't, I didn't hear it, did they want marriage? You know, so that's very important. Did they?
You said this is a conversation?
Yes.
And not an interview?
Yes.
You don't want to get married?
Me?
Yes.
I actually have never wanted to get married. I've just said it now even to Bebete that I've never really wanted to get married.
Why not?
At a very young age. I just don't know. I'm too ambitious. And I just felt like it would tie me down. But most importantly, as I grew, it was more about the perception of marriage, you know? The fact that people are always referring to cheating, or heartbreak, or what I have to put up with. I don't want to have to put up with anything.
Yeah.
I'm a workaholic. I love working. I want to focus on myself. And I don't think it would be fair to bring somebody else who now I have to, because there's all this thing, you have to iron this.
When you're married?
Yeah, marriage is just not for me. I don't know why.
No, I'm just asking, when you're married,
and all of that, you have to take care of this husband. Where do you come from? Where are you? And then you have to limit yourself to this. What if I'm interested in getting to know someone else?
Jeez. And a boyfriend? Same or different?
Even with a boyfriend, I'm like that. I don't want you to tie me down.
A man will slow you down?
Not really, but I just don't want to have a commitment like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless I'm ready.
You said something about being too ambitious. Do you believe that women who are not as ambitious, who are not as busy, not workaholics, it makes more sense for them to be with a man? And for a woman who is working hard, very ambitious, there might be a problem because there might be makoti vibes that might hinder you. That's your opinion?
Not really. I just believe that you should be with someone that matches your vibe.
And you date people like that?
I'm not really into dating that.
Hi, boo. It gets worse.
Yeah. I'm not really into dating that much. I have to find somebody who I literally vibe with like that. I'm not phased about having to have a relationship. Yeah. That's what most things I see on social media. The trend is always about relationship, jolo, and whatever. That's not the things that interest me. I'm a deep conversation type of person. I don't have time for talks like that. So if I date and I like you, we go out for lunch, we have fun, it's nice. But the relationship part and all that stuff is not for me.
Got another question, but kono mame Rumin, so I won't ask it. I don't know what you wanted me to say to your audience in terms of introducing myself, but I do run 2 channels on YouTube. PENUEL, the Black Pen, which is more of a vlog, my ideas, my thoughts. Sometimes I have interviews there. And then the PENUEL Show, which is the one that it seems more people know me for today. In partnership with my partner from Tribal Media House, Utebza. We do conversations there with interesting people, I hope. Outside of that, I'm a very proud and happy father. The dynamics of being a father are complicated because we can always discuss that. I'm an author. I've written books. Shout out to your book as well. which I hope everyone, all your siblings who claim to be your siblings.
Yes, they have it. Trust me, I've got some feedback nicely. Some people are saying they're getting off their asses.
Too
and
dope.
They're doing, so it's
Too dope.
quite good feedback.
I invest my money in certain spaces that I'm not allowed to really speak about because when people hate on you, they want to cancel good
Everything
things.
you do, yeah.
I speak, I counsel, I coach, and I've built my own belief system. Call it a religion. I've built my own belief system. It's 5 years old, and I'm hoping it will become something more special as time goes on.
And spiritual in terms of?
Spiritual. I don't understand the question.
You're saying you're hoping it becomes something more spiritual?
No, I'm hoping it becomes something bigger and something more impactful in the world.
Okay.
We can speak about it.
Who are you hoping to impact?
To be honest, I'm trying to find an elite group of futuristic thinkers. And if I can hack their minds and influence them, it'll be filtered down very easily. So that's kind of who I'm looking for. But then there's other like more ordinary people who vibe with the things that I stand for and that I believe in. And people are just tired of, let's say, political systems, legal systems. Some of the religions are oppressive. So I'm hoping that it's something like a breath of fresh air that is new. And people are like, oh, snap, okay. I didn't know religions can be new. And you're like, yeah. Because our religions have got ages, 2,500, 4,000. So why can't a religion be 5 years old? And you challenge that notion.
What's your thoughts on God?
Myself?
Not God panel. The God that everybody knows from the Bible, from the teachings, from our childhood and all of that.
One of the things that pisses people off when they listen to me is I take long to answer simple questions. So I'm going to try my best. You asked my thoughts on marriage. I will answer it if you want. And now you're asking me about God. Yes. So I don't know if we must leave marriage.
No, so answer all of them. Okay. Let's be broad.
I apologize. People that feel like I'm going back. And, a lot of men today speak about how marriage doesn't work for men. There's no upside. What's the purpose? Some guys would be like, why buy the cow if you can get the milk for free?
Okay.
Realistically, because most women are willing to give up everything without marriage. So what's the point? And it's fair. A lot of women expect wife benefits. Some women will be like, you haven't married me. I'm not going to clean your house. But she still wants to be taken out. She still wants girlfriend allowance.
Or she actually acts like a wife. Because you know this thing that they say you're acting like a wife on a girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. They actually act like wives. You're already doing those things. Why should I marry you?
Relationships have changed and we need to speak about them. The men that complain that why marry a woman, she'll take 50%, only men with a lot of money can say that. Or men who earn much more than a woman can say that. Today, a lot of women are earning really well.
Absolutely.
Today, a lot of women are being scammed by men. The guy comes into your life, you take out loans because you're trying to build this great thing. This is my partner. We're going to be Jay-Z and Beyonce. You guys get divorced and like Minnie Dlamini now, you find yourself to our Melukoke spousal maintenance. Mary J. Blige, spousal maintenance. Now it's not funny anymore. And those same women get angry. What kind of a man would want... Men were asking what kind of a woman would want to scam a man and get his money. So we need to have these conversations. And marriage does not suit anyone except for someone who can't do their own thing, who's not a workaholic, who's not ambitious, who's not making their own money. But there need to be some type of protections for people that sacrifice their lives to support my dream. That's marriage. But we can speak about it another time. God is an idea. God is a word, English word for us. English is a language that was brought to us by colonizers. And that language has got definitions. A God, according to English definition, is a higher being. Sometimes it is a being that created the world we see today. Sometimes it is the being who we are meant to serve. Sometimes it is a being that has given you a guide to life. And you want to live your life, if you believe in God, according to God's will, according to God's word, to worship Him, etc. Before colonizers came here, African people had their own versions of what they called gods. And because we didn't speak English, we had uNkulunkulu, Thixo, Kamata, we've had
not the same
higher.
Sort of like belief, like the higher power is just different names.
So that's going to depend on who you ask. Because some people might be like, it's the same thing. And you're like, we don't know. Because you must also understand the history of gods, or God and gods. Greek and Roman mythology, they had gods, more than one. You'd have Zeus as the god of gods, you'd have Mars, the god of war, you'd have Venus, you'd have all these gods, Thor. Over time, obviously, it's been condensed almost into one. The idea is just a higher being that whenever people cannot answer certain questions, they then must be God.
God, yeah.
Why is it raining? Why is it snowing? Who is challenging me? Why? Since I don't have an answer, it must be God. Many other people were not happy with that answer. So they started a science. They started science as a I don't know if you'd call it a movement. It's somewhat of a belief system, but as a model of answering questions. No, lightning comes from here. Thunder comes from here. Fertility comes from here. No, the reason this is happening is because of these things, and we can prove it, and we can measure it, and we call it science. So as science became more powerful and started answering more questions, the need for certain gods started disappearing.
Yeah.
But there are still core questions like, where do we come from? Where are we going? Why are we here? That science has not been able to answer. Even the way we come from, science has got a rubbish answer, I guess just like religion. They speak about a Big Bang theory, which is rubbish. There was a Big Bang and then everything, it's also lazy, but that's their answer. But God, more than anything, is this belief that there's a source to the consciousness and what we see today. And it is the concept of God and that definition that I challenge with my belief system, to be like, I don't think God is what you've been taught. I think God is something else. And I'm going to start off by saying, I am God.
Okay.
So that you can get upset and be like, how dare you? And I'm like, but you can be God as well. And you're like, how? And you're like, you need to define what God means to you. And once you've given a definition, I'd like to challenge it. And once we've challenged it successfully, you must then thereafter be like, okay, I think I agree with Pen, or I disagree, or I believe in something else. And that for me is in a nutshell, I guess, the concept of God.
If you put it like that, not that I don't believe in God, I believe there's a higher power. I think I've said this before in your presence, that when you start calling yourself God, you upset people because they've had this belief that God is this certain things. Now, if you're saying, I am God, you upset certain people. The funny thing for me, and the reason why I stopped calling myself Christian, is because of the beliefs and the things that Christians do. You know what I mean? They're boxing you, they're judging you. Whereas the Bible that we are taught to read says, do not judge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And those are some of the things that I saw hypocrisy, you know, in Christianism. And I said, you know what, let me not give myself a religion, but I believe there's a higher power, and this is how I'm going to live my life.
Yeah.
Even though I was raised as a Christian girl, I just didn't want the title because a lot came with the title.
Yeah.
Like how I should do this. I should get married at this age. I should do 1, 2, 3. You know what I mean? I'm saying you should be married now according to Christian things. You know, you should be having 2.4. You should have a picket fence.
2.4 kids.
Yes, you have a picket fence and all of that. So Christianism for me, I feel like it boxes you, it judges you.
Yeah.
I believe in being good to people. I believe in treating people well. I believe in what you put out is what you get in. I just don't want the title of Christianism because it comes with, I mustn't do this and I mustn't do that.
It's the curse of being a thinker, and I'm sorry to you, Nyaxolis. I'll say 2 things. Number 1, people that are in power, politics, kings, whatever, presidents, business people, they want you to believe that God is external.
Yeah.
Because once you believe that God is external, it is easy for them to convince you of God likes this, God doesn't like this, God doesn't. Because you're like, well, I don't know. They are the leaders. They probably know better. The truth, I believe, is that God is within. But now what's happened is, I believe we are largely animals. I don't necessarily believe in evolution theory, but I believe we are animals, and I believe our minds are like computers or cell phones.
Yeah.
They are naked, canvas. The only thing you have, which I call preloaded software, is your parents and how you look. And those. So you didn't choose that. So that's preloaded when you buy a phone. But from when you're born, there are different apps that are planted in your brain that you didn't come with naturally.
Yeah. You pick them up as you go.
You pick them up.
Your
so
environment.
If you're born in the Middle East, one of the apps that gets planted is Islam. If you're born in South Africa, one of the apps that's planted is Christianity.
Yep.
If you're born in parts of Asia, Buddhism. Another thing that's planted is your name, which you didn't choose. Something that was just decided there. Another thing is arguably your surname, which is meant to be your lineage, but let's just say your surname. I'm saying this because it can be challenged later.
Yeah.
When Umama says, hey, this was actually not your father. And then from there, once these apps are here, you always...
Because I love my father, so I hope not.
We're not,
we're not
challenging anything here.
Yes, but I'm just
an
saying.
example. These apps constantly need to be updated, just like your phone. And as you update them, as you use them, you get used to them. You know the settings, you know how to use this filter, 10, 20 years later, when someone says, do you know that WhatsApp is not real?
Yeah.
Do you know Facebook? You're like, you're lying. It's real. I've been using it since I was a child. You're like, no, it's not. That filter is not actually who you are. You're like, this is everyone knows that this is me. And I'm like, someone came and planted this app in your mind from a young age. And you've been working on it and building this thing to a point where you believe it's real.
Yeah.
And PENUEL is coming to say, you can change, you can delete that app. You can uninstall it and you can install a new one. And what happens when you're a thinker is that curse. It's like leadership. People are like, oh, that's the king. That's the queen. And you're like, I think I want to be the queen. Ngobuba.
Exactly.
And you're like, because I did the history, I think this is the danger of also studying history. I studied the history and I realized the reason that lady is a queen is because her great-great-grandfather decided to fight someone and said, I'm now the king. And 4 generations later, she's a queen. Why can't I be like her grandfather? Do I know you can't do that? You're like, watch me. The whole story of Jesus and Christianity is funny for me. And it speaks to the ignorance and narrow-mindedness. I'm trying to not say stupid or stupidity. It speaks to the narrow-mindedness of Abantu. You were given a book. This is now the app. You were given a book. It's called the Bible. From a young age, before you could even think. You were told this is the word of God. Oh, God wrote this. No, not really. Like other people wrote it, but they were listening to him. And you're like, oh, it was written by people. People like me. No, not like you. They were special people back then. You're like, oh, okay. But it's the word of God. And in the word of God, there's a story of a young man called Jesus. This guy went around saying, I am the son of God. In that same book, on that same app. And everyone around was laughing at him, ridiculing him. And the leaders of the day were like, this guy is disruptive. We're going to make an example of him. And they crucified him. And they paraded him. And he was murdered. In the book somewhere, he resurrects, etc. That's the beauty of the story. But then you meet Pen, who's saying, I'm God. Maybe I'm just not saying I'm God's son, but I'm God. Because for some people, Jesus is God as well, because he's the son. And I'm saying, this is how you should live. People are saying, no, you're wrong. And I'm like, you realize you sound exactly like the people in that book, criticizing the man that you claim to believe in, who was persecuted by the people of the day. I'm not saying I'm Jesus. I'm not saying I'm the reimagining of Jesus. I'm just saying, how much of a hypocrite are you to say, black people were oppressed back in the day. I am seeing people being oppressed today, and I'm like, it's fine. It's like that means you're a hypocrite. I am here to say, let's spread love, peace, let's do good. And the same book you believe in has been used by powerful people to oppress you, and then you forgive them. Turn the other cheek. They oppress you, and they're like, no, your wealth will be in heaven. Don't worry about earthly things. While they're rich. And they've told you that God is somewhere else. But even in the same book, you are told that you are a child of God. In the same book, the same person is saying, as long as you believe in me, as long as you this, no one says you must, all these things that the leaders are telling you to do. And that becomes a challenge. So I'm trying to find more thinkers like yourself, not necessarily to become PENUELists and to worship me, but to find the power in themselves. Because if more of us become powerful from within, it becomes so difficult for evil people out there to manipulate us. Which is the biggest issue I think we have today.
I watched something on, there's motivational blah, blah, blahs and whatnot. But I found that very interesting because this guy says you are told so many times that, say 10 lemons into lemonade, turn lemons into lemonade. He says most people, because now they're conditioned to think like that, this turn lemon to lemonades, no one is going to think, why should I turn lemon into lemonades? Somebody else is going to come through and say, okay, since everybody has this lemon into lemonades thing, why don't I now convince people? It says you first need to find convincing people that lemons are the best thing, since sliced bread, you know what I mean? And build it into people. And then you put something next to it. I don't know in what context he said, but like put a certain belief next to them and why they are the best thing since sliced bread. And then once you're done with it, you sell it to them and watch how your sales are going to go up. And he says that's how people are conditioned to start having certain beliefs.
Boom.
You know what I mean? So I also want to go into, a conversation about, there's something that I saw you post on Twitter, and you said that the stuff that you post on Twitter, do you do that to provoke people, to provoke thought?
Yes, to provoke thought, sorry. Not to provoke people.
Yes.
Because people like definitions, man. They like terms like philosopher, critical thinker, thought leader, someone who challenges the status quo. I have thoughts like many other people. The difference is that I share my thoughts with the world. Whether they're right or wrong, I enjoy provoking thinking because then you engage me. I do not do it to chase clout. I do not do it to be unnecessarily controversial. I do it because I actually am trying to challenge people's minds. I'm trying to wake you up. And singing softly, if it's not working, I need to shake you and be like, Vuga. Because, while you're sleeping, your house is burning.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm seeing at the very least. So that's why I post on X. The story of Lemons to Lemonade is a reminder of the power of language and story. Everything we live, or not everything, most of the things we live in as humans today is a function of language and story. And the people that have mastered language and story get to own minds.
Yeah.
It's the story of De Beers diamonds. It's the story of cigarettes. The way cigarettes are cancerous tobacco, nicotine, tar, things that you're inhaling in tutu. And it's murdering your body in real time. But now if you're seeing the hottest chick on a TV screen smoking, friend, and then you're like, oh, she looks so cool. Yeah. And you're like, I want to be cool like that guy. Now you're murdering your body because it looks cool. De Beers Diamonds was struggling. The Oppenheimer family, Kimberly, Cecil John Rhodes, and them. Cecil John Rhodes, Barney Bonato, the Oppenheimers came after them, funded by the Rothschilds to turn De Beers into the amazing company it became. They were struggling to sell diamonds, and it's like, how much? $5,000. It's classy. I'll never do that. It's like, we're struggling with sales. How are we going to get people to sell? Then it becomes a lemon story.
Yeah.
If we can get Kim Kardashian to be like, oh my gosh, you also got this glass? I got it for a cheap $8,000. Like, oof. Kim Kardashian. It's the story of the iPhone. It's a status symbol.
And these diamonds are a girl's best friend. That was the best.
Diamonds are a girl's best friend. If your man loves you, he'll buy you a rock. The bigger the rock he buys, the more he loves you. And it became programming to a point where today we fundamentally believe in it.
Yep.
The story of Christmas, of snow and reindeers in a country where we have no snow in summer, where we don't have reindeers, we don't have those type of animals, where we don't have those type of chimneys and houses, and a white man with a white beard, a fat white man. It is not African.
Yeah.
But it is a story that's been sold to kids. And even when you track the story, Santa used to wear green.
Yeah.
But Coca-Cola came and rebranded. And Santa became red. Yeah. So if you were to see a green Santa, you'd be like, that's not Santa. It's like, that's actually the original Santa. It's like if Jesus came back, if he was real. And he looks like me. It's like, I said,
be like, wow. Yeah.
No, you're black. Sure. You're black. Yeah, and you're not speaking English. If you're maybe, when Jesus comes back for South Africans,
he must
be white,
beard,
must have blue eyes, must have a beard, must speak English.
And have long hair.
Oh, come on. And he must wear
white robes.
So whether it is the money game, whether it is the law, whether it is what we call beauty, the standard of beauty, what ambition is that every young man should work hard so he can build a home for his family and have a nice car. All of that is because of story and language. And the people that have mastered that get to own minds.
Yeah.
When I post on X Twitter, I'm using the same tool of language and story and emotion, because there must also be emotion somewhere, to challenge your mind. If I say something like, hey, Machida, please go check. Maybe your mom is not really your mom. Who do you think you are?
Yeah.
I'm just playing around with words. Salma Hayek has got a really nice video I've seen on Instagram and TikTok saying, if I swear at you in a language you don't understand, it means nothing. You might even laugh. You are the one that assigns the things I say to you because you understand them in the language. It's because you take language and you make it mean something. If you're teaching people about Jesus, people that are like,
Yeah.
okay, we can't colonize their minds. We're going to have to teach them English. So what you do is you send missionaries, they set up the churches, and then they set up the schools, and they're like, Holy Shasha, come here. Yeah, yes, come here. You must learn English. You see that nice man with the nice suit? He speaks English, so we're going to put you in the school, and we'll call you Nelson.
Yeah.
You're going to be Nelson today. Okay. And then now that you have learned this tool called English, they can now start playing with your mind. Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet. Do you know how beautiful that is? Diamond is a girl's best friend. Turn lemons to lemonade, but Jesus is Lord. And now they can start pumping you with all the software. The next umkhulu from Emakai that doesn't understand English, if you're trying to tell him, but Jesus is
Yeah.
that became one of the stories of Jacob Zuma, that he's not learned. He dropped out. I mean, why would you be led by?
Yes.
And then people buy, and you're like, what does that have to do with anything? So we buy into narratives, and when I post, I'm just challenging that. I'm just like, hey.
I had an argument with V. I think you know V now. She's like a best friend of mine. And
another author, shout out to her.
Yes. Me and her have like sort of like opposite minds. We think different. We have the same, I don't know, maybe the same vision and goal, whatever, but it's two different routes, you know. Right. And when you're talking about, what were you talking about just now?
I was speaking about language and story and the ability to colonize minds.
Yes, where I was saying to her, I believe, and I know most people will feel offended by this, and it's not to, offend them or anything, but we hate what we see in the mirror, And I said to her, that is why even white people use us against each other, because they know that we attack each other. Yeah. It's like if I can come with a message as a black woman to another black woman, it will not be perceived the same as if a white woman was saying the same message to that black woman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And she was like, no, it's because of apartheid. It's because we have been. So I said to her, but you were not there. You fought for democracy and all of that. And, that happened. Yeah. So why don't we pick up from there? She says to me, no, we have to start from the beginning, from where it started off. And I said, that is what is keeping black people in the same place, like going around in circles. Because everything has to be blamed from back then, where apartheid started off. We know it happened. We're not saying, we're not acknowledging that, but we're saying, where do we take it from here? Yeah. And that is why we are always going to be led by people that we know that we don't want to be led by those people, We know that they're not doing right by us as a black nation, as a nation or whatever, but we're still going to vote for them because
that's with your chest, the ANC.
No, I'm not saying anybody's.
Say it with your chest, girl.
You say it.
I had an argument with the lady I was in a relationship with.
Yeah.
Very young. Very young. She was very young at the time. She was putting on her wig.
Whichever, wig, weave.
A wig or weave. And I was like, do you understand this is conditioning? She was putting on her wig and she was using skin lightener.
Yeah.
And I was like, you understand this is conditioning from history. You are trying to become as white as possible. You're trying to look like a white lady. And she laughed. She's like, there's no such thing. I'm like, no, there's history to where she's like, I don't care about all of that. All I know is I think I look amazing in this.
Yeah.
At the time, I think fleek was the word. I was fleeking. Today, I think it's snatched.
Yeah.
Now
you got to be snatched.
Now you got to be snatched. She was like, I just like this. And I was like, I understand. And it's okay. And this is why I was saying shame to you, because the problem with being a critical thinker is you go and you do research because something is bugging you. You're curious and something is not sitting well. You research, you study the science, and then you go into history. And then you learn all these programs that have been used over time that get us today where you're like, I love makeup. It makes me feel good. When I've got red lipstick and high heels, my confidence. And it's like, where does that come from? You're like, no way. It's just me. It's like, unfortunately, it's not just you.
It's progress.
There's a conditioning that is so deep that you won't see it. And to undo the work is going to take so long. Julius Malema was speaking recently that even he struggles with, he wasn't calling it an inferiority complex, but he was saying sometimes he has to remind himself when he's speaking to white people, hey, Konja, this is a white person. Because, our parents have that thing. They see a white person and they change. You're like, Mama, what's happening? No. And you're like, no, for sec, we are better. You're like, because of the conditioning, it's so deep. We are factory rejects because some of us, not all of us, some of us went to school and we did well. I was a top student. I don't pride myself. It's something I say because there are dumb people that believe it's worth something. I was an A student. I was brilliant at sports. I was a choir boy. Used to sing solos in the choir. I was a teacher's pet. I spoke good English. I spoke good Afrikaans. I was very respectful. But after all of that, because it's like, Ntwana, you're winning.
Yes.
You're the lady that all the blessers want. Light skin, thick. Why not just carry on? Gents want to give you money. You don't have to work hard, girl. Just get your nails done, look good. You're fine. Why do you want to work and study and write a book? And you're like, I'm just content echo right. And that makes you a factory reject. Content echo right. And there's a lot of us, not all of us, not most of us, but there's a lot of us who, even after being put in the system, we are just not happy because we look at the masses and we're like, okay, I'm winning in the system. I've got money. I am what's called good looking. People like me. I can speak language. I've got all my limbs. I'm not disabled. My family is sort of okay. I don't have black tax and those things. But I look at everyone else and my soul is not at peace.
I think it's because it's more like what fulfills you. You know, this thing that people say, what completes you and whatnot. I don't know yet. And that's why I keep working until I figure out what is it that's going to complete me, if there ever will be. I've actually got a question like that before where somebody's like, do you know what? If I come into your life and I get you everything that you want, I've gotten that question literally. Will you slow down?
Yes,
and I was
girl.
like, slow down on what exactly? And he's like, no. I mean, if I get you everything that you want, if you the mansion, the nice car, the holiday, I'm like, because you're assuming that is what I want based on how I look.
Yeah.
And then do what? Yes, it would be nice to have all that money and all of that. And then do what? Sit and wait for you the whole day. You know what I mean? So I think it's also based on your values and, what fulfills you and what completes you. So with me, I don't know yet
what's wrong with you. Where did your parents mess up?
I have no idea.
There's yellow bone privilege, right? But with yellow bone privilege, there's also the downside where when people see you, they assume you're not smart. They assume you're just here for money, looking for men. So I'm trying to figure out, where did your parents mess up? Did your parents teach you hard work, values, earn everything yourself? Is that where they messed up? Instead of being
I think so.
Right.
No, my mom never, me and my sister both. My sister's gorgeous, by the way. And my mom...
She's prettier than you.
She's
prettier than you.
Equally gorgeous. Equally gorgeous. I don't know. I don't compare.
I must meet your
I don't
sister.
compare. You'll probably meet her.
After discussing.
I don't compare. You'll decide. But my mom used to say, beauty is not a forever thing. You understand? After it's gone, what do you have?
Yeah, your mom
you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, but I'm grateful for that. You know what I'm saying? Because I've seen really gorgeous people growing up. Because growing up, if your parents are not prioritizing ubuhle, you have this esteem. You understand low motion, whatever. But those same people, it's like, it's a shame because now buhle babo and
it's expired.
Yes, it's expired because now you are so used to having men do this for you. You were so used to using all of that to get your way and all of that. And now that you're older, when I'm watching them, you're older and all of that, and you've got older kids and all of that stuff. Because those same men, that's the unfortunate part, can get younger girls.
By upgrader.
Yes, they can get younger girls. We're so kukile man.
20-year-old, Sondela says.
Exactly.
Can we off ramp a bit?
Yeah, we can.
Tyler is in America and she's been nominated for a Grammy.
Yes, The Water. That's, I think now her trending song is...
Oh, it's a song called Water.
Yes.
I think she's 20 or 21. Very young, very pretty. She actually looks 15. Very young, very pretty, working hard, winning.
Yeah, she is.
Ngapha back home, Thusi is also winning.
Yes.
Ngapha back home, and I love these women very much. I love them more especially because it's our class.
Yeah.
Meaning we matriculated sort of the same years. Pearl Thusi and Minnie Dlamini. And I normally go for them because I think they have thick skin and I do believe they're very successful. I try to not go for women that look like shame, they're a bit sensitive.
Yeah.
They are a bit older. And a conversation I had recently was our inability to have succession planning just as a band.
Yeah.
Our politicians don't have succession planning. And they're like, nah, that we groomed, but they failed. We do the same in business and specifically here entertainment. I look at them. I think they're doing well, they're successful, but then I look at how they get attacked on social media. Has been, they must stop this. Minnie was laughing at Ukune recently.
Was she really laughing at Ukune?
We don't know if she was laughing, but the way she pulled her face was like, he's still playing.
Yeah.
So we were like, how is he shade?
It just looked so theatrical, even the pulling of the face. I don't really think she was making fun of him.
Well, that's how people perceived it.
Yes.
Let's say that. So people attacked them. And in my head, I was like, because I think I made a video on TikTok and I was like, I don't know if this is a PR mistake that they're doing because Pearl Thusi, she'll be dressed, revealing and what.
The nipples out.
And I was like, this could be just them being themselves, which they should be allowed. Or maybe this is PR, or maybe this is PR gone wrong. But then I started thinking, you will not be in the entertainment industry. You will not be hot forever, unfortunately.
Absolutely.
It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
They were hot at some point. They were Tyler at some point. They were Thusi at some point. As you get older, you need to, as a human being, I'm just using them as an example.
Yeah.
You need to find ways to rebrand yourself. Umama, sis, Connie Ferguson has done that amazingly well.
Absolutely.
Basetsana Kumalo today, because she's married to Romeo, she's done that amazingly well. And you almost want to guide even a Tyler to be like, Siswam, you're 21, at some point you'll be 31, at some point you'll be 41. While you're here, work hard, be hot, but start planning like number one, an exit. I'm Minnie Dlamini. I'm Bonang. I want to at some point stop being an MC. My energy is going to run out. Maybe I won't be the flavor of the day. But I'd like to be the lady that is grooming the future young ladies. And maybe even set up an agency when people are like, we're looking for young female MCs that like, come to me. Because
I watched that video of yours. With,
on TikTok?
No. I watched it on YouTube, on your other channel.
Okay.
With the panel show. You were talking about, actually it was when it was trending, the Minnie Dlamini. I think Pearl Thusi posted something on Instagram and then she got attacked for it.
Yeah, she was asking her friends to hug her and people were like, why don't you just WhatsApp them?
Yeah.
Clearly you're looking for attention. Then later on she said she was joking.
Yeah. But most people, when I checked your comment section, I love the comment section because I love to laugh.
The juice is there in the comments.
Yes, and how people perceive what the message that you're saying. Most people are saying you are attacking them,
Yeah, it's because people are stupid. I was trying to not say they are, but people are stupid.
Yeah.
They lazy thinkers is what the thing is. They respond
before you even could finish the sentence. Yeah.
So that's what people do. It's said. Rebrand. DJ Sbu I think DJ Sbu and I have studied many of the same success stories globally. And one of the things I think he's taken from the Jewish community in particular is the ability to invest in the young. Jack Ma speaks about this. Jack Ma, where Alibaba is disappeared now because of the Chinese government.
Yeah, what happened?
Jack Ma said, we don't know. Alibaba, Ant is the head group. I'm sorry to detour. The Ant group was about to list. It was going to be the biggest IPO, initial public offering. And just before they listed, he started speaking about how China is oppressive to some of the businesses there. They should look to America.
Yeah.
Next thing, he disappeared.
I just thought about it now that
next thing he disappeared. The next time they found him, he was at home. He was painting. Not fine. What happened to? No comment. But I'm fine. So should bam cool to take say. Jack Ma speaks about in your 20s when you still have energy, find the right boss to work for. So Minnie Dlamini at 20 wants to work for Usisbasi, Mambasi, Basitsan, which is she's been where I was. She was a Miss SA and I would like her guidance and her leadership. When you're young, find a good boss with a good company where you can learn a lot. It's not really about money.
Yeah.
Go and find, if you can, a small business where you get to be the CFO, you get to be the CEO, you get to work with suppliers, and you don't get swallowed by a big company. In your 30s, then you start building. You start being like, okay, let me build a company, or let me take some of my money and invest in property, invest in shares, etc. In your 40s, start grooming younger people. And then in your 50s, retire. You learned, you built, you are grooming. Now you're retiring, all your money is in the young people.
Yeah.
Usbu understands the value of, I will not be old forever. So I need to find young up-and-coming guys and pump money.
I will not be young forever.
Platform, whatever it is. So that when I'm 50, 60, 70, people are going to be like, want to thank this legend because to this day, other old people are still competing with young people.
Yeah.
Be like, yeah, baba. Pop Smoke was murdered at 20, 21. So he was hot probably from when he was 17. Tupac was murdered at 25. He was hot from like age 21. Lil Durk set up his record label. He was hot in his early 20s. Suge Knight of Death Row, who signed Tupac and Snoop and Dr. Dre, he was running Death Row Records at age 30. It was worth $100 million. These are young people. Jesus apparently was in his 30s. Stephen Bantu Biko was killed, 30s. General Bantu Olomisa was running part of the Eastern Cape in his 30s. Young people run the world. You will not be young and fresh and whatever forever. So you almost want to groom these ladies. Say, we see what you're doing, yes, but we don't know in the next 5 years. Go out there and try and put as many young girls and maybe even young boys on as possible. Put them on because they will keep you alive forever. Give them money, give them platform, give them support so that when Tyler's accepting her Grammy, she's there like, I want to thank Sis Minnie Dlamini, I want to thank Sis Pearl Thusi. They have done everything for me. They support me and I will not let you down and I will bring the next generation. In that way, there's like succession planning and we all win. But now you look like Ukoko hogging the spotlight.
Yes. So
what your mom was teaching you was very important and it's something to teach, especially good-looking girls. Boys as well, because good-looking men tend to be dizzy. Good-looking girls. Siswam, you're good-looking. Tick. You didn't earn that. Your parents gave you that. So you need to be thankful. Mom, dad, yabona nje kuthiwa ngiyashisa in the streets ngiyabonga. Time ngiyabonga ukuthi ushelele oledi ukuthi kuse yabona nje ziyakhipha. I have a responsibility to maintain how I look because my parents gave it to me. So watch your weight, watch your skin, watch your diet so that your children can inherit this. Also choose a partner who's also umuhle manje usuzoletha igorilla kini. Manje ugogo naye said manje lelo manje le angisakwazi manje nokubamba umzukulu wami in the streets kuthiwa manje gogo lengane ulelo angazi man usiphathele igorilla. So you have a responsibility to that. But outside of that, what have you earned? Because your looks are not yours. What have you earned? Alicia Keys. I used to practice piano every day. I'm beautiful. That's not mine, but the piano and the singing is mine. I put in the work every day. Beyonce, Knowles, from a young age, I was doing choreography. I was singing. I was touring. Yes, I'm good looking, but Beyonce outsings, outworks, outperforms the ugliest woman in entertainment.
And you know, this is what now brings on the, what you call it, Illuminati, whatnot, because
hate.
Yes, it's hate. It's people cannot accept that she has worked hard and she has earned all of that.
It's hate.
You know, so there has to be some sort of dark force behind it. And that's why I think I once created a content and I was talking about successful people and whatnot. People were like, you're just so stupid. You can't see through it. You know, it's there's no way someone can acquire so much wealth, you know, on by their own self.
Illuminati.
You know what I'm saying? So
babes.
And it's like, what is it? I think it's Mercy and Ronaldo. And apparently people see Ronaldo for the longest time outshone Messi, even though Messi's shown in his own right.
You can't say that.
Okay, hold on.
You're gonna get
hold on.
cancelled for real.
I'm going somewhere. And it's because Ronaldo apparently, Messi's talent. Ronaldo is hard work.
I hear you.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
I hear you.
Ronaldo apparently gets to training an hour before and leaves an hour later.
Yeah.
And that is why he can be matched with Messi, who is talent, because he works hard. So he understood that in order for me to be as good as this guy, I'm going to have to work twice as hard.
No. Ronaldo is hard work. This is the story.
Yeah.
Ronaldo is hard work. Messi is pure talent. There's a meme I read which said, if we were a society to accept that all successful people are successful because of hard work, it would put ordinary people under pressure, because then they'd realize the reason you're not successful is
because you don't work
because
hard.
you're not working. So it's always easy to run away to, she's talented. It's because she's pretty. No, man, yellow bone, I see why she's got high views. I mean, which is not fair. And we've got a lot of, ugly is not the correct word. And I don't mean it out of ugliness. So we've had a lot of dark-skinned women, specifically from an entertainment perspective. Lauryn Hill, Maya Angelou, Estelle at some point. We've got Viola Davis, one of the greatest actresses of all time. We can keep going. I mean, Oprah Winfrey as an example. So these are not generally light-skinned, thin, big booty, and they've been absolutely sensational. Then there've been the Beyoncés of this world who put in the work, and it's unfair. And I can imagine the pressure someone like Beyonce has, because she didn't choose to look the way she does.
Absolutely not.
But you're hating on me because I'm good looking.
Or because you think I'm good looking.
Yeah, and
me as good looking. Yeah.
I work, guys. I work. I have to travel. I have to do interviews. I have to rehearse voice training. I have to sit in studio and put on harmony over harmony and layers. I have to lose weight and gain weight and go to the gym and practice. And it is unfair what you guys are doing. It's one of the reasons why she's one of my heroes, personally. It's lazy thinkers. It's stupid people. And it's the reason why, it's part of the reason why I almost feel it's important for me to speak out loud and to also blast my belief system, PENUELism. To be like, I want to find leaders who understand, who see things, because if we're not making more noise than the noise that's out there, people will keep believing in the rubbish narratives. The only reason she's there is because of, and it's like, nah, there's no such thing. There are so many what we'd call ugly women in entertainment, in business, in politics, everywhere, who are killing it. And in the same breath, there are so many beautiful, light-skinned, big booty women who are intelligent, who are got distinctions in maths, who put in the work, who musanu babuela pants just because.
Yes, they think you're a bimbo, you're blonde.
Yeah.
Automatically, when you walk in, oh my gosh, she's another blonde. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is very unfair. Which is why I said for the very longest time I would do, YouTube behind the camera. You know what I mean? Then get people to know me, get people to know you. Oh my gosh, she's so smart. The way she says things, and then boom. Because now you can listen. But if you first come up, because that's how people think. They think if you look a certain way, then this must be the type of person that you are. This must be the mentality. And now taking you back to the sex conversation that you said about the cow and the milk and all of that. Someone once said to me that sex is very easy acquired in this day and age. You can find sex very easily. A lot of women are willing to give you sex for the right price. And he said that is why he's not yet married, and he doesn't view sex in this high regard, because if he wants it now, he can get it because he's got the money. So for him, he's looking for a certain type of woman. You know what I mean? And he says that is what is rare to find, not sex. A lot of people don't understand that.
No, sex, you just have to swipe right, swipe left, swipe right, swipe left. You just have to swipe, man. Apparently Tinder's become like Uber sex for a lot of people, where if you're looking for a casual hookup, and yes, it has devalued women in general. The slave queen culture has devalued women in general. The gold digger, what we knew as gold diggers at some point, then they became blessees, and then we're all slave queens today. it's devalued women. Women were always, I don't want to use the term bought, but they were always acquired through value. The problem is the type of value that we offer now and the type of access we have. So a quality woman, the guy would have to prove and earn her, which is why his whole family, it's like, it's not enough when you're rich. Bring bonke abakini sibabone, let them meet our family and then be like, actually, because it's not just about our daughter, it's not just about you, the families are now uniting. Lumfana lo, what is he good at? He's a great fighter. Ooh, he's built like a machine. Ukhuluma kahle. You fast forward today, he's got a nice car, he's got a nice job. But it's about the families uniting. Now we've gone from bigger value to transactional relationships and sex. Fast food. It's like, you don't have to cook for me now. You have a cell phone, you have Wi-Fi. If you call Uber Eats, I eat.
Yeah.
Which makes you now a good woman because you fed me. Right?
Yeah.
We need to have conversations about what that means. We've embraced being liberal to our detriment because it has hurt us and we do not have boundaries anymore. And it kicks us in the mouth. Men are very loud on social media about women and women's value.
Very loud. And they have so much say, more than women, about what women should be like and how women should, treat men, or what's a high-value woman and what's not a high-value woman.
No, they're right.
Yeah.
They should have a bigger say, by the way. Men should have a bigger say on women. Women should have a bigger say on men. The problem in the hypocrisy is that these men have been going around sleeping with inganzabantu. They're looking for young virgins, high-value women, but they're happy for transactional sex. Who must marry those women that you've been sleeping with?
Exactly.
And why do you think you deserve? Because most of these men do not deserve those women. And those type of women need to be protected as much as possible. If you are what's called a high-value woman, we need to find your high-value man and protect you from the shocks. We have to. It's a conversation that is uncomfortable to have. Grading. We need to grade ourselves.
I don't understand why the grading conversation is always, before it starts, it's a conversation that's uncomfortable. What's so uncomfortable about it? Because it is what it is. It's the truth. And people know it.
People don't.
People know it.
People know.
They are aware of it. So why is it always, it's an uncomfortable conversation, but why can't you just have the conversation?
There are many things in society that we are all aware of, but we all pretend like asaz. And
Like, I would never.
I meet your mom. She's got 4 kids from 3 men. As a machita, we already have assumptions about your mom, but we'll never say anything.
Yeah.
We'll just keep quiet. Now, because got 4 kids. 3, 4. I want to say something. I know. Nothing.
Yeah.
This is one of them. We have been sold this concept of love, which is very destructive because love is a mental illness. Love, like alcohol, numbs rational thought. Umuntu mawusumthanda ingqondo ayisebenzi. Amachita will wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, hustle money, catch a cab or hire a cab and go see a woman somewhere. You tell that guy at 3 in the morning, let's go make some money. I'm sleeping. I see one next day. Because you're willing to do things that are abnormal, unnatural for the person that you love. We've been sold that concept of love. And in being sold the concept of love, we've also been sold the concept of love knows no boundaries, no age, no... I love him for his personality. And we need to grade Abantu. Someone like myself would probably be like, kill last number. I'd be like in the reject box. Because I've got... Which I'm just not divorced. Because, that would be worse. So, divorced, you lose points. You've already got children, lose points. Children with multiple people, lose points. Umubi. Unamali. Wisdom. You didn't pass at school. We put you there at the bottom. And then shame, we must find you a woman there. Because every pot has its lit. And then there's people at the top. Woman, virgin. In today's terms, and this is not the best measure, but in today's terms, so people can understand, light-skinned, beautiful ass, very well educated, from a good family, speaks well, religious, cultural. Same with the guy. Virgin. Virgin. the guy must also be untainted. Good looking, well built, has money, religious, cultural. They must get together. And then we go down the list. Body count, umchita slept with 5 women. So niggas nangu siza duana lusis has been around. Wako gelo. Yo, wako lo. But obviously allowed for outliers. Because this virgin girl might be like, yo, I see you put pen is at the bottom of the food chain, but oh, I like him so much. To hey, stay away from Loputi. To hey, I can't. But at least she's aware that there's a grading system. These are the guys for you. A grade, B grade, C grade, or pen balago F.
Yeah.
Because you like he speaks nice, and you know, by all means, we need to grade people so that we can have conversations about value exchange. Because once we do that, when people are looking at partners on social media, we must ask which grade were they aware? Because I think one of the things that upsets people is ignorance. There are women that are being destroyed by men who are vultures because you're naive. Ushamagama, I buy you a diamond, and oh my gosh, she loves me so much. And older women, tired, retired slaveries, they want to be like, hey, God, Darren, oh, you're just hating because I was at a On the other side, a lot of men today are looking at young, impressionable boys being wounded by gogo that have retired. No, but she loves me, you know, I love a mature woman. She, hey, Baba.
Even if shows for it now, what is it? Sugar mamas or Mojala.
So guys are like, hey, stay away from Lokoko. These it girls that have retired, Baba, hey, bazok. So there's an ignorance there, and all we're saying is lentombazane funi inkomo zu 20 kubo. Lentombazane funi inkomo zu 50. What is the value she's bringing? It can't just be ubaba ku inkosi. So what?
Where now in uletani when?
When uletani usisi into my home, number one. And then we need to have the conversation on the other side. Okay, lumchi tuhlanganisi inkomo zu 20, but outside of inkomo zu 20, which he might have borrowed from Absa Bank, he's going to be paying them off njenge bond. What else is he bringing to the table? And let's grade. We used to grade in the past. It was more open because we were about building.
Yes.
Manja, because of transactional. If I have money, I get to smash.
Yeah.
If you have a fat ass, you get to choose. I'll go home with him. I like his car. And it's kind of messed up society, and it's got a spillover effect on good people.
The time the car is a rental, but it's a topic for another day.
Is a rental. Actually, we want to go pens or more.
Exactly.
Yeah, so, and then there's a lot of fakeness. A lot of women today are not. If men were allowed to wear makeup and wigs, hell would break loose.
Yeah.
Because you'd wake up in the morning with the gorilla. Because umchita manje sesusile foundation, you know, and you're like, oh my gosh, the guy's so ugly. It's like you can't say that because nani nama gorilla.
Have
fake beards.
Yes, fake beards and fake hairline.
Yeah, machita cartel. God in scammer. Nothing nani million scam. The fake car, the rental car, the fake black card. It's fine. Nani million njengati.
But makeup, I think, and also it's another conversation there, makeup, because most people would like to say, we would see most women, because you put on makeup, this is how you look. Makeup is there to enhance you. It doesn't define you. It's the looks that you want to have. To
you agree it's conditioning?
Yes, I do.
It's conditioning.
What do you mean?
Makeup.
Conditioner how?
We were speaking about the beers. We were speaking about it's conditioning.
Yeah.
You were taught that makeup enhances you.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't taught that makeup enhances me.
Exhibit A.
Yes.
Okay.
I wasn't taught that. I actually started makeup by myself in my mom's mirror at the Porsche. And I said, hey, if I do this, because I'm an artist too. I actually draw. I'm an artist. I you know, so I think that's the interest of it. So most of the time...
You're exhibit A for me, by the way.
No,
I think the people watching this will understand what I mean.
I don't understand, so make me understand.
No, it's okay.
No, it's not okay. I need to understand.
No, it's fine.
No, it's not.
I spoke about a lady that I used to see who was in denial that using skin lightening and what, it's because of historic conditioning.
Yeah.
And what she thinks is her decision today is not her decision. So you're doing what she did and you're denying that it's conditioning.
Makeup is conditional.
Yes.
No, it's not.
It's fine.
No, it's fine. Let's move on. It's not.
No, you're speaking about enhancing.
Yeah. I was saying it's meant to enhance you. So I wasn't not speaking about it in that context, let me say. People like to say, it's like the judgmental type of the part of the conversation where people judge you based on what they see, based on what you look.
Who said that makeup enhances you? And who says you look better with makeup?
Okay, hold on. Let's forget about that. I'm not saying you look better with makeup. I'm just saying makeup enhances your look. So it's not really, unless you are putting it on for a different reason that you want to change yourself or look a different way. But for me, makeup just, enhances your look. It makes your skin blend a bit more. It makes your skin a little bit smoother. It highlights certain parts of your nose and whatnot. Just that illusion. It is an illusion. You understand? But I think people put it on for a different reason. Let me say that.
Sounds like you're defending makeup.
No, I'm not. I'm defending why I use makeup.
No problem.
Because most of the time when I'm at home or whatever, and when I'm just shopping, I'm not wearing makeup. But because, the lighting, the illusion. Okay, let's forget about.
Are you a woman's woman?
50-50.
Are you comfortable speaking about your age?
A woman doesn't tell her age.
Oh, so you're a woman's woman.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope you will have children more than anything. Marriage is not that important to me. Umjolo is whatever it is, but I hope you have children.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is one of the most important responsibilities that we have.
Mm-hmm.
And by we, I'm not just speaking about humans.
Yeah.
I'm speaking about good-looking, intelligent, hardworking people.
Mm-hmm. We
need more of them to have kids because the ugly, lazy, useless people that are having babies all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Too many of them. Baninga cool. So some of us need to have kids. I think it's important. So I hope you'll have kids. And I hope in time.
How do you define ugly though? Let's just.
How do I define ugly?
Yes. You said it more than once. Yeah, you've said it more than once. Yeah.
Then, yeah. But if you look, you're like, ooh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
We are animals. We are largely animals. And men know what good-looking men are. Men doesn't know what, and it's okay.
Yeah, they just don't say it because then they'll be perceived as gay.
Of course. I'm going to show you two pictures. Nang chitalo. Your woman, your wife, your girlfriend works with lomchitalo. She works, why are you thinking an lomchitalo?
Because you're born now with this.
It's because you can see with your law. When's our lomchitalo in your company? Insecure, you're insecure because of the way he looks, the way he presents himself, etc. So I hope at some point you'll choose to have kids, and I hope you have 3 children. Yeah.
Why is that?
It's a good number, it's balanced. Not 2.4, 3. Yeah. I hope you'll have children. It's one of the most important things for us to have in the world. Outside of all the noise and all the chasing and the ambition and the what. People had sex for you to be here. They were having amazing, beautiful love making, and your dad was there. Sorry, baby. But there are many people that decided to be intimate, or did not decide, or however it came about for us to be here. And I think the least we can do is...
It's just how we look at it these days, intimacy. It's more... Intimacy is more, put in the same boxes, materialistic or sex for money or what. Is that like the term sex these days, or how it's valued, the value of sex these days. That's why now we're scared to speak about sex and all of that stuff. But it's something that has been there,
I don't think sex was ever meant to be for recreation, but for procreation. We've made sex a hobby. It's like food. Food was never meant to be, not never meant to be, but food was not art. Food was not an experience. And fine dining and gourmet. Food was meant to be fuel to get you going. It's like petrol emotweni.
Yeah.
And then later on, human beings created art and the colors and the smells and the... So we've done the same with sex. Sex was meant to be this act that we use to create life.
Yeah.
And then we've made it this whole thing, especially with the porn industry, where now, the way she touches you, 10 ways to please your man, how to go down on her. We've made it this thing it wasn't meant to be, in my opinion. People love sex now. And I also think it's one of those things we were conditioned to do and to be. But fundamentally, sex was meant to be for children. So, yeah, I just hope you have babies, man. That's my wish for you.
Okay.
You want to come to my platform?
Yes, of course I'm going to come to your platform.
I've been attacked for not having enough female guests, which annoys me because I don't give a fuck about female guests. And I think it is very disrespectful. I don't give a fuck about female guests.
Seriously?
Yeah.
And why is that?
I find it disrespectful to invite you on my platform just because you are a woman.
Okay.
It's demeaning. because I don't invite men there just because they are men.
Okay.
So I would like when I invite you to my platform for you to be like, okay, I'm not doing you a favor.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to tick a box. I'm not demographics. There are many reasons why I haven't had a lot of women. Part of it is because I'm a gent and I normally have conversation with gents. A lot of women are into things that I'm not into.
Okay.
Some of the women that are really brilliant just haven't had time. They're still going to come. Some of them are too shy to come on the platform. Some of them maybe are nervous of coming on a platform with me. They'd rather be like, I'd rather sit with Ulelo or someone else. And that is fully fine.
Yeah.
So, but I'm hoping you'll come and visit.
No, I will. I'm actually also a very shy person. I'm busy coming out of my box.
Are you really?
Well. Yes, I am. I'm not shy in my space. I'm less shy now than I was when we were at the event. Because now I'm thinking, oh my gosh, all these people are looking at me.
Were you nervous?
Yeah, I was. I don't know. Maybe it's anxiety. I don't know.
You manage it really well. You
yes.
look like you're in control.
Yeah.
At all times.
Yes.
What is shyness to you? How do you define that you're shy?
Camera, people looking at me. Then I have this certain feeling, oh my gosh, in my head, why is everybody looking at me? Did I say something wrong or whatever? That's shyness and never this to me. But caught in my own space, I've got a lot more to say. Yeah. And then when I'm comfortable with the person, I've got a lot more to say. And it's like, when you're so shy, even words, you miss them. You don't know what you're saying sometimes, or it feels like you don't know what you're saying. Then you look back and you're like, no, but I was okay.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Yes. So I think that's shyness for me.
I'm very shy as well.
Whatever, PENUEL.
Yeah, that whatever is what people say with you as well. And I normally use two examples. My favorite examples, Michael Jackson and Beyonce Knowles. I believe Michael Jackson and Beyonce Knowles, very shy, very socially awkward, but amazing performers.
Yeah.
And some of us are like that. And we wear the mask very well. I have very mild social anxiety. I have to prep myself when I'm going into a crowd of people. And sometimes if it gets too much, I do disappear.
Yeah.
And people might think, and it's like, no. And the more successful, wealthy, famous people I meet, the more I realize how many of them have the same thing. Andre 3000's got a new album where he's just playing with the flute. And in a clip that I saw, he was saying that being famous is unhuman. And he's like, it's not great. And there was a time when I was looking at celebrities, people screaming at celebrities who were doing charity work in the Joburg CBD, handing out blankets to the homeless. And there were these two celebrity guys we were with, and people would just keep screaming and shouting. And this one guy I was with was like, I don't ever want to be a celebrity. And I was like, why? He's like, you become an animal in a cage.
Yeah.
People see you as an animal in a cage. They want to touch you. Let's take a picture. You're an object.
Yeah.
They're not feeling your energy. They're not worried. Are you with your family? Are you nervous? Are you fine? Someone to see, can I? They just, oh, Lelo, hey. And you're like, yo, I'm an animal in a cage. Share up here. Like, say that thing. Smile.
The thing
Smile.
that you
like,
say, yeah.
Guys, someone really close to me just passed away. I don't want to be here. That's why some celebs end up wearing a hoodie and shades because they're just like, I want to live my life, but I don't want that thing because and one of the insecurities is your own family. You'll go home or you'll be invited. You'll go home and your cousins that you grew up with, nanlala together on the floor, all of a sudden they treat you different. They get nervous. All of a sudden they are calling their friends to come and see you like you're an animal.
Yeah.
And you're like, guys, I just came to spend time with family. I didn't want it to be an event. Send me the neighbors and the unjani and famous. And you're like, so you're not gonna be normal with me anymore because I'm popular, which means I'm never gonna see the real you again until something new. What do I need to do to make you comfortable enough to get my cousin back or my sister back? Because I miss you. I miss you telling me shit. Oh, so no need. You don't do that anymore. Now you're nervous. You're worried about saying the wrong thing to me. I'm still your sister, bro.
Yeah, I'm still together, remember? Yeah.
I still fought. I still shit.
Yeah.
So it becomes sad because you almost then lose even people you love, man. And you don't know when a man is coming to you. Oh, Lelo, I like you so much. And you're like, I hear you. But I don't know if you're genuinely really into me or if it's the idea of being seen with me and because when we're alone together, you're different. But when we're out there, you become loud. Babe, come, babe. feels like we're performing, and that stuff will drive you crazy. So a lot of celebrities end up depressed and those things, and people must watch out for that stuff.
Yeah. Look, man, Penuel.
Shut it down.
In closing, it's a question that I wanted to ask you from the last conversation that we had. I like the fact that this wasn't an interview, because I feel like everybody just wants to interview you and ask you, oh, your children, what happened? What was the plan? Why are you not married? And come and blame you and whatnot. Take out all their insecurities on you, because there's a lot of people that have the same issue. If it is an issue.
Oh.
Okay.
Mistakes.
Yes.
You said mistakes.
Yes. If it is an issue, they have the same issue, and they want to project it on you, and they believe that you cannot, you cannot say, okay, this was not what I was planning, but it happened and I move. They always want to take you back there. There's something that you said last time I was with you, and you said you're not a role model.
Yeah.
And you didn't get to define that, because obviously we were surrounded by ladies. And I wanted...
We were surrounded by ladies.
Yes, and us ladies can talk. No, seriously.
No, we were surrounded by people who had a lot to say.
Yes, we can talk.
But
us ladies actually can talk and can over-talk men sometimes, because we just like hearing our own voices. But anyways, I wanted to ask you, do you think that you have a choice in deciding whether you are a role model or not?
It's a very intelligent question. You're flexing your smartness to the people. I would love to travel the country and in small groups. Amachidekwela Debs have gotten into a lot of charity work, specifically fighting against violence against women. They held a men's imbizo in Soweto recently, and the hall was full. And one of the things that made me sad is we speak about men's conferences, we speak about someone must speak to the boys, someone must speak to the men. Generally, it doesn't work in big groups. That's the reality. What needs to happen is you need to find guys in groups of 5, 10, because what needs to happen is we need to interact, and guys need to be vulnerable and to speak. Because when we're just speaking, we need men to rise up, and you must watch out, but we're not getting to the... Because there's a shy guy here who wants to open up and be like, hey, Penzo,
Yeah.
That guy's not going to say that in a large group. Especially in a large group, he's probably going to be ostracized.
Yeah.
Come on. And you're like, these fuckers are not even listening to me. I don't know what to do. I don't know what's wrong. Let's speak about it, and let's be honest and open, and let me not judge you, and let's try and resolve the issue. I have a wish of doing something similar with parenting.
Okay.
Moms, dads, where outside of trolling me on social media and dragging me and bashing me, let's engage.
Yeah.
And let people in small groups ask, Pen manje, do you maintain the kids? You're just trying to make yourself look good. And you're like, sure, I understand. And let me tell you where I sit, and let's speak about you. The other really important thing is let's speak about you.
Exactly.
So I've spoken about me. Let's speak about you, and let me maybe help guide you. A role model is someone who is meant to be someone that people aspire to, or that people aspire to. Ooh, Beyonce is my role model. I want to be like her. Why? You don't even sing, you don't dance. Yes, I don't sing, I don't dance. But her professionalism, she's never in the papers for scandals. She works really hard. She's amazing. She's an amazing family woman from what we see.
Yeah.
Her and her husband have got it on lock, her and Jay-Z. She seems to have her finances. We don't see what we there. So she's my role model in that sense. Okay, I understand. I am not a role model because I am not someone for people to aspire to. Or at least it's not something I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
I am not Winnie Mandela multiplied. I'm not trying to multiply yet. I am trying to find people like me. So it's not that I'm trying to make you me. I'm trying to figure out if you like me so that we can work together. What happens with being a role model or being accused of being a role model, and I've used this example of children. You and I have a child, and I listen to Rick Ross, and I listen to Nasty C. I listen to Malum Cool Cats and Casper and AK. Swear words. Fuck. Yeah, these bitches can. And you're like, say, the swear words, the kids, it's a no from me. They are going to copy you. I need you to change because they will copy you. And I say, okay, I hear you. And the kids come and they swear. You see? The kids are copying.
Yeah.
And I call the kids and I call you. Guys, what's happening? Yeah, but Dad, you always swear. Your swear words are like, okay. So you're copying me? Yes. I'm like, I work. hard. I make money and I provide. I deal with a lot of stress. If I'm Jacob Zuma, I have to be in parliament being heckled. On social media, I'm being trolled. On this and this. Are you copying me in these other things? No. You're choosing this one because it's convenient.
And it's what's in public because...
So my whole thing is, don't copy me conveniently and then be like, Pen is my role model. It's the mistake so many young men are making with Andrew Tate. Yeah, Cobra Tate is saying, yeah, Andrew Tate Vele says I must be a high value man. Yeah, may he rest in peace. Or Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels is like, you're a 6 out of 10, but you're looking for a 9 out of 10, nigga. What? These guys are going out bashing women, quoting these men. Andrew Tate, Kevin Samuels, Ban Ban. And I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, Andrew Tate has got a lot of money. He works hard. He gyms. He's built like a machine. He's a fighter. We're not necessarily saying it's right, but he almost has a right to almost say whatever he wants because of these other things. You are conveniently, where's Doja? Our Jimmy, you're broke as hell.
Yeah.
You are a fucking 2 out of 10 saying, yeah, Andrew Tate says, like, shut up, bro. You can't be like, yeah, I look up to Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate is my role model. But when I look at your body, you're not gymming like Andrew Tate. You're not making money like Andrew Tate. You are not outspoken like Andrew Tate. You are not willing to be cancelled like Andrew Tate. You're just like, Andrew says women, like, shut up. That guy's not your role model. You're capping. So there are so many things about me and my life that a lot of people would not be able to handle. And for that reason, I'm like, don't look up to me. Don't try to be like me. You will have your Twitter account deleted. You will be dragged on Facebook. And because you are not me, you might become depressed and anxious. You are going to go and be like, yeah, I've got 3 baby mamas and fun no pen. You're not maintaining your kids.
But do you think you have a choice though? Because you've put yourself out there in public.
No, I'm going to get to that point. Mfana no pen, and I'm like, you're not maintaining your kids. You're fighting with your baby mamas. And like, don't look up to me and don't try to be like me because you might see flames. Now, in terms of being controlling, people seeing you can never do that. But you do have a responsibility as far as possible to give, especially the people that admire you, as honest a story as possible. Which is what I try to do. Saying something like, I'm not a role model is like a warning. So that tomorrow when someone says, yeah, but it's like, but Pen has said,
I'm not.
If someone's like, yeah, but he is, it's like, but you're not maintaining your kids. Don't quote me and then not maintain your kids. Don't go and talk shit and say, but Pen did this. Don't quote Tupac. Tupac bambulala bafu. Ufuna ukufa. Ma ufuna ukufa, sure. Jesus Christ was crucified. You're going around and you're not willing. Rather don't. Just be like, oh, I like what he said there. I take from this. There's nothing wrong with that. What I am trying to be is not a role model, but I am trying to be a teacher. So when you're sitting in class, you are not trying to be your maths teacher.
Like an example.
But you're trying to learn from them. When you are in church and T.D. Jakes, Miles Monroe are giving these words of wisdom, I'm not trying to be T.D. Jakes. T.D. Jakes is overweight. Him and his fetish for hot wings. I'm not trying to be T.D. Jakes, but I'm trying to learn from him. So you need to differentiate between a role model and a teacher. You need to differentiate between a role model and a leader. That's my leader. Yeah, you like Jacob Zuma as your leader. Where are your children and wives? No, he's not my role model. I'm not trying to be a polygamist. I'm not trying to what. But I believe that his vision and the work he's doing is taking us where we need to go.
Okay.
So again, it's lazy thinkers and dumb people unfortunately consume a lot of our content, but we need to constantly remind them that, guys, elevate yourself to a higher level of thinking. And if you don't get it, ask. And if you're unsure, and if you disagree, which you should always be allowed to.
Yeah, like start questioning things instead of,
Nyamuzo pen, oh, call me English. You're like, I don't like him. I don't believe in him. He's not for me.
Yeah.
And that's great. Unfollow, unsubscribe, and keep it moving. Because you can't please everyone.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ didn't please everyone. Muhammad didn't please everyone. Buddha, Gandhi, Mandela. There are people that don't like money. Money is the root of all evil. There are people that don't like money. There are people that don't like a sunny day, yashisa. There are people that don't like a cold day, So you will not please everyone, but that doesn't mean you mustn't stop speaking out there. There are 8, I think, billion people in the world. All you need is maybe your child, 1 or 10 people or 1,000 people or 100,000 subscribers who are like, this guy speaks to me, therefore I will follow him and learn from him. I don't need to be him. He's not my role model. I'm not trying to be like Pen, but I do learn from Pen, and that's good enough.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Pen, for coming through. I think that's all the time that we have for now. But in closing, I will always say this because this is a Game Changers podcast. I just want to ask you, what do you think you are changing the game in your field? And if you are, how you think you're doing it? And if you are still going to do it, what other aspects do you think you're going to add or look forward to in changing your game and this PENUELism type of game?
Yeah, I think PENUELism is probably one of the biggest game-changing things that I do. I don't know many people, and I'm sure the viewers, your siblings, don't know many people who have said I've started my own religion.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many people know who are like, I am God. This guy claims to be God. We are Shyness. It's like, how many people do you know?
Most people I hear, the people, whenever I say PENUEL, they God, that's how you are perceived. Whenever you say God PENUEL, or someone says God PENUEL, whenever you address yourself as God PENUEL, most of the time that's the response that you get.
Yeah, I'm challenging minds. I'm challenging stereotypes. I'm one of the few, if not the only, black people who's gone on a platform to say I'm donating money to AfriForum. I've been attacked for that, but it helps change. It makes people think, which is something they wouldn't have done before. I'm one of the few people who says we need to learn from Orania, and we need more Oranias, especially for black people. I'm one of the few people who is actually a non-racialist, who will sit with different people from different races and allow them a platform. Yeah, man, and I'm not a polygamist, but I proudly wear the fact that I have children from different women. I am proud not to say other people must do it, but it's to say I'm not ashamed.
Yeah.
It is not something I regret.
It happened.
And it's something that happened. It happened intentionally. My children were planned, and I've got nothing to hide. Most other men who are in the same position never say it.
Yeah.
And some of them, I'd like to think, they find their strength from me. So you meet a guy, he tells you, I've got children from 3 women. They're like, Njengo Pen.
Or Pen vibes.
Yeah, Pen vibes.
Yes.
It becomes a joke, but it allows certain guys to at least not have the stress too much on them. I think that's how I'm changing the game. Very passionate about education.
Yeah.
I will take claim for this. Maybe this is going to be the first time that I'll take claim. I joined DJ Sbu last year on the Hustlers Corner with Justice Shabalala, who was doing our production. And at the time, the Hustlers Corner had been set up for hustlers. You know, young up-and-coming hustlers. Patu drip, how much did patu drip, via, etc. What's your business? How have you gotten here? And then some celebrities came on. How did you change the game in your industry and what? When I got there, I was very big on critical thinking, deep thinking, and politics, and maybe slightly deep dive on business. And I wanted us to speak more on that. And I brought some of the guests, some politicians there, and it was different.
Yeah.
We sat on, I think it's ENCA, the platform. Professor J.J. Tabani's Power to Truth, I think it's called.
Was it you and Sbu?
It was myself, DJ Sbu, it was David Mashabela. It was Macchi from Podcast and Chill. And we sat there and JJ Tabani was asking about politics and voting. And Macchi was like, you don't give a fuck about voting and those things. Which he was very right about. And he was also like, fuck it, dog. But from that moment on, and with the work myself and Smoot did on the Hustlers Corner, I saw the influence of a Podcast and Chill inviting more politicians.
Yeah.
Probably because the chillers were like, you should interview this guy. They brought on Julius Malema, John Steenhuisen, and young people started learning about these politicians and politics. So in the podcasting space, I'd like to think I have influenced people being like, podcasts are not just about gossip, trending news, they also can be educational. It can be
or
about...
discovering someone's deep, dark secret and shaming them and all of that stuff,
So that's not me. So I can't take
Yes.
claim for that.
No, I'm saying most of the time,
Oh, yeah.
podcast that was about that wow moment, your deep secret
Man,
now.
there's people that change the game in terms of bringing on African spirituality. Oskoteni Nomaweni, speaking on Ubungoma. There are people that came to speak about the alternative sexuality. Jowangisho Sbu speak about hustlers. I can't claim any of that in the space. But I will say that I think more of the politics stuff, I think I've been one of the guys who have pushed for some of that, and for young people to be like, let's actually learn more about politics. In the same way, Julius Malema and the EFF got more young people watching Parliament. Young people weren't watching Parliament. It was boring. But when the EFF with their red overalls and their domestic worker outfits were there, point of order, more young people. So that becomes game-changing in a space. So I'd like to think I've pushed specifically South African podcasting to be more educational, stimulating, politically focused, economy, and I hope more young people are inspired to discuss these things and create spaces for that. Yeah.
Well, congratulations, by the way, on your platforms.
Thank you.
I can't wait to come through to the panel show. I have to, get my confidence. Remember, I told you I'm a bit shy. So if I'm coming, we'll see what we're going to talk about.
Space is very free.
Yes, because I feel like most of the time, and I do agree when you say most women would be like, do I want to be in that space? What am I going to talk about with panel? Because obviously how people perceive you.
Sure, it's an intimidating space, and I apologize because it's not meant to be.
Yeah.
We're calling Fega there. So like every now and then you'll bring a guest to try and break the stereotype. Guti guys, it's not just about, don't be like, PENUEL so discusses in days deep. No, we don't have to. Just speak about your life, your family, and so.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, PENUEL. And I hope people do enjoy this discussion that we just had, because it was more of like a conversation. And I hope some of the questions that they had, or a side of you that they wanted to see, they got to see today in this conversation. All right. Thank you so much, guys. And I'm out. I love you so much. Bye-bye.